Welcome to DJ's Corner, it's just my opinion. Diving into mysteries, wrestling dominion. From true crime chills to comic book thrills, I break it down for you with all the feels. DJ's Corner, just my point of view. Funny and smart, bringing something new. From villains misunderstood to wrestling views. Tune in, my friends, as the truth reviewed. Let's talk Lex Luthor, business tycoon, falling from grace, aiming for the moon. Or Harley Quinn struggling, misunderstood plight in my corner. We'll get her story right. Let's talk Lex Luthor, business tycoon, falling from grace, aiming for the moon. Or Harley Quinn struggling, misunderstood plight in my corner.
Welcome back to DJ's Corner, just my opinion. So I want to do a remix or a redo of the misunderstood villain segment about Magneto. He is no secret one of my favorite Marvel Comics, DC Comics, villain character development of all time. And I felt like I was right there the last time I do it, but I want to redo it and do some fucking justice. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's get into it. Magneto, of course, born Max Eisenhardt, otherwise later known as Eric Lenzher. I hope I pronounced that right because it was in German. Okay, no secret, Magneto was a Holocaust survivor whose early experience of human cruelty and persecution has shaped his worldview. For example, his time in Auschwitz, where he lost his entire family, instilled a deep mistrust of humanity. You're young Max, or Eric, or, well, fuck it. He was Max as he was born Max. You're a kid, you're a child during the Holocaust, and you don't even realize yet that you're a mutant, and you're already seeing the worst of what humanity brings to the table. So he was warped at that moment. And then later on, find out you're a mutant and watching how humans persecute mutants, Magneto was doomed from the start. So it's that old saying, who's worse? The monsters that go bump in the night or the people you walk past every day? Like anything, witnessing the death of your family by Nazis and subsequently escaping from the camp are pivotal events that hardened his resolve and fueled his belief in mutant supremacy. Prior, Magneto has been a fighter his entire life, from a kid, adolescence, teenager, all the way up to an adult. So all he knows is to survive and to protect himself and anybody that he feels is close enough as family. A la why he is the, as you can say, in my opinion, the Malcolm X of the mutants. And of course, Charles is Martin Luther King, but we'll get at that later. Now, his friendship with Charles Xavier began when they were working together for mutant rights, but diverged due to difference in ideologies and achieving mutant liberation. Before, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, fighting for the same goals, but just different ideologies, different ways of doing it. Magneto said, no, we must protect, separate, get our own, you dig, we live together. Professor Charles Xavier wanted to blend in, show that they could be better people, they can help society, help humanity. Where did we see that before? Civil rights movement. Magneto's primary motivation is to protect mutants from human oppression. For instance, his establishment of Mutant Nation Genosha was driven by a desire to create a safe haven for mutants. Black Wall Street. Yeah, we're going to go there. You know, Magneto resonates a lot with the African American race, especially during the 60s and the time that the comic book issue was out. And there was lots of talks of African Americans going to their own state, their own piece of land, do their own thing. You know, hey, at the time, you don't want us around, we'll do our own thug thizzle. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Magneto felt it. Magneto never wanted to fight. He never wanted to kill, destroy, none of that. He was like, you know what? I just want to protect my people from persecution. And that's always been his motive operandi. That's what it's been all time. Although his methods can be a little extreme, don't get me wrong. His ultimate goal is for survival and prosperity of mutant kind. His actions in the House of M is a great example of that, where he reshapes reality to favor mutants and also non-mutants alike. The House of M was a great comic, which I might break down separately, but it really shows Magneto's full scape of his mind. Magneto's values are very simple. Magneto values justice and retribution for the atrocities committed against mutants. His strict, stern sense of value can be seen as confrontational with anti-mutant groups. But can you blame him? Like we talked about at the beginning, he's been persecuted, beaten, scared, victimized his entire life by humanity. Before he knew he was a mutant and after he found out he was a mutant. So this is all he knows. Now, Magneto's trauma and his desire to protect his people makes him a sympathetic figure. His past as a Holocaust survivor, let that sit down, makes his fears and actions understandable to readers. Magneto is a relatable character, which makes the X-Men relatable characters. That's why that comic book, when it hit so hard, because there was many segments of races, genders, families that could sit down and all read and understand and comprehend what was going on in those comics. Does the means justify the end? We all been at that crossroads sometimes. We have to make a decision that's tough, but we know it's going to affect many people. But we're still gung-ho knowing that at the end of the day, this has to be done. Sometimes those are things that you have to question. And this is the main thing that Magneto struggles with. His entire character arc. I recommend watch X-Men 97 that just came out this year. Really nails home what Magneto is. The ongoing battle with his trauma, his past, his loss of loved ones adds the depth to his character that matters. Such complicated relationship with his own children, the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Now don't get it twisted. Magneto has moments of compassion and even heroism, such as when he hates the X-Men and fights against their villains, Sentinels, Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister, you name it. There was even a cup of coffee where he ran the X-Men in Charles' absence. So again, despite the differences in their views, how they get there, no matter what, Magneto is always down for his people. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's kind of how Magneto kind of fucks with, when he fucks with people he don't really trust or they don't see it. Now, he's frequently going back and forth with the X-Men, human authorities, and other mutant factions. His battle with the X-Men specifically is mainly revolves around the fact of their differences in ideologies on human and mutant relations. Now, his decisions often pit his desire for mutant supremacy against ethical implications, such as another comic issue, The Trial of Magneto, where he faces judgment for his crimes. Great read. Now, heading back to the relationship between him and Charles, there is a mutual respect amongst the two, even despite their differences in opinion. Their dynamic is a cornerstone of the X-Men storylines, including X-Men First Class. Magneto's interactions with humans and other mutants are marked by a mix of disdain, respect, and occasional alliances, as seen in his uneasy alliances with the X-Men during major crises. Now, Magneto has strong influence. Characters like Rogue, who sees him as a mentor, and Mystique, who aligns with his cause, are influenced by his ideology and actions. The Brotherhood of Mutants. He has a following. He has a niche of people and mutants that sees his point of view. All characters evolve. Magneto evolves from a straightforward villain into a complex antihero. His transformation is highlighted in the Uncanny X-Men, where he becomes the head master of Xavier schools. Go the fuck figure. Storylines like the Age of Apocalypse, the House of M, that showcase significant shifts in his character, where he plays the roles that are more heroic than villainous, which is awesome. It's always cool to see him play a badass hero role like he's saving. A la, go watch X-Men 97, please. Now, referencing the comic books, different writers, from Chris Claremont to Grant Morrison, have added depth and nuances to Magneto's character, portraying him both as a villain and even a tragic hero. What makes Magneto so compelling is his story. Magneto's story reflects on real-world themes of persecution, genocide, and civil rights. His character is often used to discuss issues of bigotry and systematic oppression. His experience with trauma and loss have heavily influenced his aggressive approach to mutant liberation. This is depicted in his reactions of anti-mutant legislation. Everything he had to go through had to fuck with your mental just a bit. His action can be seen as a response to deep-seated PTSD and survivor guilt, making his extreme actions more understandable. His character, no secret. But imagine being the only one of your family that survived an overwhelming, horrific experience. And you have to live with that the rest of your life. Some things would be better to just have died. Magneto carries that every day of his life. Now, it seems like it's almost intuitive that a villain at one point in their story or their story arc or their journey wants to seek redemption. Magneto sought redemption multiple times, such as where he joins the X-Men or lead Genosha. His efforts in the X-Men legacy highlights his attempts for redemption. True redemption for Magneto involves reconciling with his past and finding non-violent ways to achieve these goals. No more throwing hands. His role in the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline shows his willingness to work towards that peace. And that was absolutely fucking fantastic of a comic series. And I pray to God that we get that on the major screen now that we know that there are mutants in the MCU. His story often ends with him achieving temporary peace or some type of understanding that can pacify him, though his militant stance usually resurfaces eventually, as seen in Magneto, Not a Hero. Now, his impact and legacy is profound. Magneto's actions have led to significant changes in mutant and human relations and influenced many mutant rights. His creation of Genosha is a testament of his impact. He remains a polarizing figure, viewed as both a hero and villain. His legacy is particularly strong amongst mutants who see him as a freedom fighter. Now we got to take it to the streets. Magneto is widely regarded as one of the most compelling and multi-surface villains in comic book history. His complex morality and his tragic backstory resonates with many readers, including me, of course. Key issues and storylines. Must-read issues that you guys have to check out to get more in depth, because reading is fundamental. The more you know. X-Men, Magneto's Testament. Second, God Loves Man, Man Kills. Third, Age of Apocalypse. And finally, my personal favorite, The House of M, are essential into understanding who the fuck Magneto is. Iconic storylines, his leadership in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and the formation of Genosha are pivotal. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for listening. If you listen, cool. If not, that's cool too. I did this before. but I just didn't like it. It didn't sound personal. It didn't sound blah. And I wanted to do Magneto justice because he's great. I mean, like I said, I mentioned this several times throughout here. X-Men 97, the original X-Men, his portrayal in First Class in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is amazing. So yeah, check this out. It's going to be cool. It's going to be more formats like this. So stay tuned, definitely. There's going to be more shit coming, more shit kidding down, having fun. It's DJ's Corner, just my opinion, signing off. Enjoy your day, enjoy your life, hug your family, and try to learn something today. Peace.